This is X99.5, Jacksonville's new alternative, live from the mobile Fair and Fair Performance Studio for a quick interview with Robbie from Ripe. First of all, you guys are awesome. We just listened to the sound check, and I got to say, one of my favorite things about you guys and your band is everything sounds, all the songs sound different. Is that on purpose?
I wouldn't say like yes and no. I think on purpose in the sense that between all the guys on stage, there's so many disparate tastes that just in trying to get everything that everybody likes into the soup, there winds up being a lot of songs that sound distinct from each other. But it's very rare that we walk into a writing room or walk into the process being like, we don't want to sound like anything else that we've done.
We don't want this one to sound like Settling. We don't want this to sound like,
I think in general, we try and be more additive than subtractive when we're creating. So it's more like, it's fun to kind of discover what the songs are going to sound like, and over time I agree with you, things have sort of sounded different with each song.
It's quite literally one of my favorite, because a lot of times bands will find that sound that they really like and kind of stick to that bubble or that shell, and I like that I can listen to your new album and it doesn't sound the same all the way through. It's fast, it's slow, it's happy, it's it's all over, and I really like that.
I appreciate that. I think at least for me, it's one of the fun things about the whole world of alternative is that it means something, but also kind of doesn't mean anything genre specific. So you can be a little bit agnostic and still file everything under this one umbrella that allows you to be a bunch of different things. Yeah.
And on top of that, noticed from the sound check here, you seem to have a blast on stage, even when it's not a crowd, you're just practicing or checking it out. Is that where you feel most comfortable? You like being entertaining and singing to people?
Most comfortable is a hard one to answer, but I think that like the reason that we do this, the reason that we feel like it's something worth sharing is because of that like underlying joy and catharsis that it makes us feel. And I feel like, there are still bad days on the road. There are still hard days in any job, but for the most part, like we know that we're in like our version of fighting shape when we can tap into that joy ourselves. And it's two different things when there's no crowd, when there is a crowd, but it's really nice to be able to bring that feeling to both sides.
So you guys are at the beginning of hitting the road, correct? And also going to be supporting OAR.
That's our August.
And so how would that come about? Are you guys pumped for that? What should somebody expect if they're coming to Underbelly tonight? What do they expect, or should they think they'll see at a show?
High energy dance pop for 90 minutes. No, I mean, it's hard for me to describe it in like the elevator pitch sense, but I think you're going to watch us for 90 minutes, try and get people moving, try and get people to feel a little bit more free than they walked into the room. And that's what we go for there. In terms of how OAR happened, we love the ability to open for people. We like the ability to meet people that are maybe not already Ripe fans or maybe not already like aware of exactly how the show is going to go, in part because that was how we came up, and that lets us continue to sort of like grow and morph what the show is with new people coming that hopefully find they like it and hopefully come back bringing their own energy to the thing. So on the one hand, it happened the old-fashioned way where like our business teams were in conversation and there's mutual respect between the bands. But in terms of how it feels as the musicians actually getting to go out and do it, it's like we haven't been able to open for quite a while, and this is an opportunity to do so in a way that gets us into some really exciting rooms with a band that we have a lot of respect for. And that's our answer.
And honestly, that's how I discovered you guys, is working for the radio station. The boss comes down and says, got this new song from this band Ripe. It's called Settling. I heard it and I went, oh wow, I'm a sucker for horns. So immediately like, let's go. And then, down the line, it's like, this is awesome. Start listening to the album once it came out. And it's like, no, I'm hooked. So when I saw you guys coming through Jacksonville, I was like, we gotta make something happen. We got to see these guys. We got to go see them at Underbelly. And, how has the success so far felt? Have you felt the ramp up? Have you been feeling it grow and grow and grow?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that like, the hidden part of the story that's still public information is that we've been a band for 10 years. So I think that like we've literally grown this from college kids in a basement to now being very, very far from home and in a room that still is going to have bodies in it that are excited to see us specifically. So I think that, having witnessed it happen to, acquaintances of mine, like there is that crazy explosion out there. Noah Khan's world is different than it was last year in a way that's indescribable. But at the same time, like for me, I get to enjoy every step of the process, and it's been sort of like the right version of one foot in front of the other. Frankly, way longer than any of us thought. This was a college band. We thought that we might be calling it quits when we graduated. Instead, we're 7 years after that fact, and as excited to do this as we have ever been.
And you got to perform at Bonnoroo. We kind of talked about this off mic. You performed. You've gone as a fan to Bonnoroo. What's the difference in experience, and how cool was that? Kind of be like you literally went from the crowd to the stage.
Yeah, I mean, the experience is quite different. And the year that we went, there was a lot of like camaraderie and sort of artist overlap in the backstage area, and that was very surreal for us to be around so many people that we had love and respect for. I mean, I love what music is able to do. I love what it can do to groups of people, and like, you know, Bonnoroo is a pretty special place in that it is able to assemble so many people under the sort of flag of the festival while bringing so many artists from so many different parts of the music world to it. And I think that feeling actually persists fan to artist. And I think that, you know, I won't name names. Some things really confirm the premise. You go and you see behind the hood and you're like, wow, this is perfect. And some places demystifying them sort of takes the magic away. And for me, like Bonnoroo was something I was almost hesitant to go play just because the times going as a fan were some of my favorite memories. But going as an artist, it just like amplified and exceeded the expectation of how we thought it would be.
Well, Robbie from Ripe, thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us in the Fair and Fair Mobile Performance Studio. Can't wait to see the set tonight at Underbelly here in Jacksonville.
Appreciate that, man. And thank you for supporting the music. It means a lot. This is our first time. Like, Settling is the first song that ever did any rounds at radio. And it's been really humbling what y'all have done for us. So thank you.